Hi there. Now what we're going to do is, this is going to be a tutorial for the Lisa star. Now if you've checked our website, you've obviously purchased one of these stars. Now there's a few variations, there's quite a few variations of this. There's a, and these are all the same shape, obviously, same shape and same size. So there's one that's blank, which is illuminated from the back with modules. Obviously there's another one which has the pixels coming through the face, depending on how many you want. There's an aluminium version, which, well, not aluminium but ACM material, which is a metallic finish, aluminium composite material basically it's called. So there's that version, and within that version there's also some versions that have the centers cut out, which have inserts, which will be another tutorial. So there's ones with 30 pixels going around the edge, one in core flute, and one with 20 pixels and with the insert, which is illuminated with modules. But for the sake of it, this tutorial, all those stars are built all the same way, except for the ones that have the insert, which will be a separate tutorial. So for this tutorial, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be building this version of the Lisa star with the pixels coming through the core flute face. Now, when you get your kit, depending on where you are and where you purchase it from, you may get the star as one piece, or you may get it cut in half, or not cut in half, but slit down the centre, which that's the way it'll be packed, marked on there. And what you'll find is that there's a slit down the centre of the star. So basically what you need to do is you need to place the star, the face. So this will be marked as the face. So there'll be one marked as the face, and there'll be also one marked as the back. So you'll take the face first with the blue dot facing you. Now that blue dot does actually come off, you can pick that off. So this is going to be the back, obviously, and that will be the face of the star. You'll lay it down. The first thing you want to do is, with your Stanley knife, you may find that there's some bits on the end here. Most of them will be cleaned off, but if you do happen to see those there, just run your knife along there. Just a simple task to cut them along. Always try and cut them so you can see that the bits of offcut there are running that way. Cut against the grain of the. You can see what we're doing there. So you can see these are running this way, so I'll flip this over and cut this way. You'll soon get the hang of it. Now you probably won't find that much on your kit. Most of this will be cleaned off in our workshop. So you may just have to do a little bit of cleaning there, just a little bit of trimming off. So once you've got your the face, put the face down on the surface that you're working on with some clear tape. Grab some clear tape, and what we want to do is we want to seal that join up. So let's grab the. Now, if you want to, you can actually peel that blue dot off first. Just move it so you don't get confused. If you have to, maybe put it to one side or something. You can peel that off later. So stick that down, and you want to just run your finger down the centre there. Now, you will notice that you will go over, in some of the stars, you will go over the entry point where the pixel has to go through. That's not a great problem. You can just trim around that, or you can just do it a bit shorter, the tape. So I'm just trimming that up there like that. So if you want to, you can actually, because you'll be pushing the core flute through, the pixel through that, so you can trim around that if you like. That won't matter because this is the back of the star, so you won't see that. So you can trim that off there. Like that. So then you'll be able to push the pixel through that. I prefer to run it all the way up the back of the star so that it gives it strength. You can actually stop it short if you like, so you don't. So there, you've actually formed the star. So that then becomes the face of your element. So the first thing to do is to we're going to build the sides of the star now. So I forgot to mention that there'll be instructions with this. There'll be paper instructions, so you'll see all the instructions when you get the kit. The sides are called F sides. You can see them marked there as F side, and there'll be 5 in there. Now, when you unpack those, what you'll find is there'll be 5 individual pieces, and each of the 5 pieces will have slits in them. Now, obviously, the slit is there for you to be able to form the shape of one side. So that's going to be one side of the one point of the star. So you'll actually fold that around, glue that down, and that'll form the point of the star. So what we'll do is we'll go along and do one at a time and see how we go. Now, you can either glue both edges, stick it down if you like, or you can just glue one edge, stick it down, and then fold the other edge. We'll do both. So we'll stick one down. I tend to start with the point with the blue dot, so that it's just for the sake of convenience. So we'll just run our hot glue along one edge and lining it up. So what you do is you'll line it up. Obviously you should be able to establish where it goes. So once you've got that edge there, stick that down. Now what I find is easy is I use roll of masking tape, and I stick, I'll just show you what I'm doing there. I stick the edge down, and that masking tape actually holds that edge in position, so you're not mucking around with it. Now what you can do is you can actually put the bits of masking tape on first, if you like, so that once you've glued it, you can stick it straight down. Now you'll work a technique out for yourself once you've done a couple of these. So I've glued that guy down, fold him over, and with the tape, just stick him back down. Just make sure you're happy with the position of the thing there, so that it's nice and rounded there. Stick him down. It's as simple as that. You've pretty much glued that first edge. You cannot possibly go wrong with this. Now you'll probably find that some of these are a little long, so you can see we've gone past the edge there slightly, so I tend to take one flute off at a time. Just run your knife down that bit there. Don't worry about the end, we'll do that last. So take your next edge, and then what you do is run it, and you can see how much you've got to trim off. You can see that it's considerably longer there, so I just tend to take off one flute at a time. Once I'm happy with the you can actually do it this way. On a surface you get a straighter edge, so you can see I'm still a little bit long there, so I might just take a little bit more off this one. And I might take a little bit more off this one. So it's just a trial and error thing. Once you're happy with what you've got there. There is one spare in each of these kits, so if you do mess one up, you can pull it off and redo it. So you can see there, once I've fitted my star and I'm happy with where it fits on the edge of the corner there, then we just proceed and do the same thing. Again, if you want to put your tape on first, you can do that. Get your hot glue. And it might help just to hold the star up if you want to. You don't necessarily have to do that, but now you might find that it's difficult to have the tape on there. So it might be easier for you just to stick it on first and then put the tape on afterwards. So we're going to run another line of glue along here. And we're going to stick this guy down. Now, I tend to do both sides at once, and with a bit of practice, obviously, you can get a lot better at it. I stick the sides down, then put the tape on afterwards. I find that a little bit easier to do. Don't worry about running glue along the edges. We'll get to that in a minute. So, so now, again, once you've done a couple, you'll know where it has to finish. So you know it's roughly going to be finishing around there. So we'll get the next one. And I know that I'm going to be a bit longer. So just do one at a time. Don't cut off too much because you don't want to cut too short. If you've got a nice flat surface to work on, you can generally cut pretty straight along the flutes. So I'm going to take just one more off that. Okay. So I'm pretty happy with that. So that's fitting in well there. Now I'm going to do both sides of this one just to show you. So what I do is I hold the once I'm happy with, I know where it's going. So I'll just double check that again. Don't worry that it's longer on this side. We can trim that off afterwards. It's more this side you want to make sure you're happy with. Okay, so grab it in your hands, fold them over, and get some glue on both sides of that. Okay, so then you can actually put that guy in there where you think he's going to go. Now, of course, this hot glue goes off quite quickly, so you don't really need to be holding it for very long. You can take some tape, put them on into the corner there if you like, and then take another piece, put him down here just to hold him in position while it goes off. You can see there it's quite a nice finish. Put that in there like that. So you can see it's coming along quite nicely. Hold that in there. Don't worry about putting glue into the corners here. That'll all take care of itself in the next step. So we'll do the next one again. Now again, you have to trim this guy off, and after a while you'll know roughly where you need to trim to. Always check, don't assume. So just put that guy in there. It's a bit more. They do trim quite well, so you may have a special tool for that. And I know there are tools out there for Corfu cutting tools. We don't use those, but okay. So we're happy with that. We're going to glue him in. Just put another glue stick in. So again, and what you can do with this is because you know where you're going. Don't put it upside down, obviously, but because you know where you're going with this, you can actually crunch it together to get a closer. So folding the side over so you can just run the glue around the edges. Makes it a bit easier. Again, we're going to stick this guy in like that, and then we're going to stick him down there like that. So you can see there that, I hope you can see this. The angle of the video probably isn't the best, so we'll actually, again, put this over here in the corner, and then one over here to hold him down. And we'll just do that last one. So once you've done a couple, you'll know roughly where you have to trim off to get the, normally it's about 1.5 flutes. We'll get that last one, and again we'll trim. One more. Okay. Now this last one is obviously going to be one that you have to trim both sides, so because it's got to fit into the other end. So we'll just do. So what you'll be doing is you'll be fitting that. And once you're happy with it, then you can glue them down. Trim at a time. So I'm pretty happy with that. Just trim a little bit off here. So we're in there, and in there, and that's going to look pretty good. So again, we glue this guy in. We're good there, and this last one obviously is self positioning. So put him in there like that. Put him in there like that. Masking tape comes in very handy on these sort of jobs. Again, to hold him down. Not essential, but pretty easy to do. Okay. So you've pretty much built your star. There's your star as you would expect it to be built. That's going to give you the basis of where all your LEDs go. Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to be strengthening the sides to the face, and the way we do that is you'll get a packet with these guys here. They're called F-ribs, which basically stand for face ribs, and the ribs are the strengthening ribs. So you'll get a little packet of those, and that's these guys here. And these guys will be supplied with a little slit in it, and obviously you've probably already worked out where they're going. They're going to be glued in to, so you can see there, they're going to be glued into the face joining the side. So once we run a bit of glue in there, so start at it wherever you like, run your line of glue along there and along there, and then you grab your guy and you push him into the corner there. Just hold him in there for a few seconds, and what that will do is will give your face and side some strength in the corner. And again, we'll just go along and do all 5 of them. Stringy glue. Alright, so just run that along there. And again, if you want to take that blue dot off, I haven't done that, but you can just peel that blue dot off. That's only just for setup purposes. So here's your hold him in there like that. 2. So we're going to do all 5 of these. I'm going to push those guys in there like that. Doesn't take long, pretty much goes off straight away. So run the glue in there like that. Now you will need this because what this does is it over time, you know, the hot glue does tend to let go, so the more fixing points you've got, the better the strength for the star will be. So there's the 5th one. We're going to push him in there like that nicely. Doesn't have to be perfect, but just get that glued in there, and I'll just show you how that finishes off. So you can see there, that's actually glued all the way around. Now, for extra strength, you can actually go along and you can put some more glue in there if you like. You can run some more glue along the edges, and you'll work that out, how strengthened you want it to make it. So you can see there, we'll just put a bit of extra glue in there. So, that strengthened the face to the sides. Which then gives the overall strength to the star. Now, the next point that we're going to be strengthening is the top of the star, or the back, I should say, because so we're going to be strengthening the back. Now, what you're going to use here is some things called anchors, and the anchors will come to you presented like this in a packet. Again, all these will be separated in packets that'll be marked as anchors. Now, what these do 2 things. They strengthen the sides. I'll just show you one, wherever they are. Where are my anchors gone? Oops, they've fallen down. Here they are. So, now, what these do is they strengthen the sides, and they give us a fixing point to fix the back of the star on with. So, when you get these anchors, what you'll see is that one side has 2 red lines on it, and one side has 2 green lines on it. Now, what we're going to do, I'll do one and show you what happens with these things. We're going to run some glue along in between the red lines, and we are then going to fold over the bits that are slit already. So what then you're going to find is that there'll be 2 green lines on this side, and this will fold over, and you can probably see already what we're doing with it. this part will be going into the edge here. Now what that does is, I'll just do one for you so you can see the process. So then we run some glue along in between the green lines, and you can start anywhere you like, it's not really important. Now it's important to keep these flush with the edge of the back of the star, because when we sit the, so we're going to put that in there, when we sit the back on, we don't want it sitting up and leaving a gap, so that needs to be reasonably flush. If you're too high, you can trim it off if you need to. If it's a bit lower, it's not a problem. So what that does is it then strengthens this bit so it doesn't come apart, and it gives us a fixing point when we put our screws in. So you can see there what that's done is it's given this, so now it's strengthened at the face to the sides, and now the sides together are holding together with this anchor. So what we're going to do is we're going along and we're going to do all 4 of these. So you can't fold, this can't fold over on the green, so you can't get it wrong. It can only fold over on the red side. So you can only put the glue in between the red lines, and again the instructions will show you that, or detail that to you. So fold him over. There's one. Do our next one here. You don't need much glue for this, because they're pretty much self-supporting. It's just trying to keep it reasonably flush. There's 2. Screw it up this way here. Messy glue. Fold him over. There's 3. There's the 4th one. The 5th one's already in, obviously. So I tend to make all these at once. I mean, it's up to you how you want to do it. It's not critical. You can just do one at a time as you go. Now you probably find some of these may need some trimming. Just check them as you go. If you need to trim some off, you can just trim some off the ends. So again, glue between the green lines. Put him in position. Just keep him flush there. You can see what I'm doing. So check it first. So if you feel that you need to trim some off, you can just get your knife and give him a bit of a trim. Check him again. Make sure you're happy with it. I've trimmed a bit of the green line off there, but that's not critical because you know which side you're gluing the hot glue to. Okay, so that's good. 4th one. And again, I'll just trim a little bit off that one. Okay, he's in there. And the hot glue stick. So, bit of glue in there. Like that. I think that one's the other way. Yep. So there's number 4. And the 5th one. Just swap them around. Sometimes they're just slightly the way they're manufactured. They could be just off centre slightly. So there's our 5th one. And in he goes. Now one thing I should have mentioned, you see I've made a mistake there. I haven't picked that masking tape off there. So I should have peeled that off before I did that. That was my mistake. I'll just peel that away there. Yep, I did it on a couple of pieces, but for the sake of that, you just have to be careful that you'll have to peel that off before you stick those on, so you don't get a little shadow line back there. Now, so that's basically the star build. It's quite solid. Works pretty well. At this point, you can actually pick off the masking tape. That's not required to be there anymore. So peel that off. That's really was only just there to hold on the sides when they were going off, but with the fact that you've put the little ribs in between there, you probably don't need the masking tape. Well, you definitely don't need the masking tape anymore. So there's the masking tape cleaned off. There's your star nice and clean. So that basically is your star built. Pretty strong, sturdy, reasonably waterproof. You can run a bit more glue around the edges if you like. It's not desperately critical, but you can do it if you like. Very simple, quite neat. Now, the next step in the start process, I'll just put that to one side, is you will get, like I said, when you get these things, this kit, you'll get one that's the face and the corresponding one, which is exactly the same size, which will be the back. So you'll get a face and a back. Just have to be careful that you don't do the wrong one with the wrong one. They're both the same, so you know it's not drastically important. But when you get your back, again, the back will have a slit depending on if it's packaged like that. You might get it in one piece, or you might get it as a slit portion. So you just do the same thing. If you find that you've got some of these little furry bits on there, work out which way they're going and cut in the opposite direction. You can see they trim off reasonably neatly. There's not a huge amount. You'll probably, like I said, most of these will be trimmed off in the workshop, so there won't be too much to clean up. But if you do have a little bit of cleaning up, you can just get in there with your knife. You can see they trim off reasonably easily. How much you want to clean off is up to you, of course. I mean, you may be installing these up on a roof, so it may not be that critical for you. So that'll be your back. Again, it'll have a blue dot. Now, again, these blue dots are removable. You don't have to have the. You can peel that blue dot off if you like. Or on the back, it doesn't really matter because you know it's not shining on the front. You really need to pick that dot off. Pick that blue dot off when you so it doesn't shine a little shadow on there. So. Again, we do the same thing with the slit portion of the I'll trim that off. Now, you're probably wondering what that red line is. I'll show you in a minute. So, this one you can trim on the back because it's not seen. All right. So there's your back. Now. There, that's the back. Now the back obviously will be the back of the star. So when you build your star, you're going to have a self-contained unit. The red shape is a little stiffening plate that we put in there. It comes packed called a stiffener. It's basically just to give a little bit of strength. So we'll just glue that guy in. So what you do is just put a bit of glue on the stiffener. Press him in position, just roughly. It's not critical. It can go anywhere in there, just roughly in that position. I mean, you don't have to put that on. That's just there in case you want to punch a couple of holes in it, tie it to a tree, or tie it to some structure that you've got. If you want to put it in a garden, and you want to put a post coming down, you want to sit it standing up in a garden area, in some bushes or on your front yard. Then you've got a bit of extra strength there to punch and put some cable ties through, or some Velcro or whatever you like, and it also holds the star together where it's slit. So that's the back. Now what we're going to do is we're going to be fixing this to that. So you're going to have screws supplied. You can see the anchor screws there, a couple of panhead screws, about 5 or 6 panhead screws. Just grab some here. What we're going to do is grab our pencil. Now you can put as many screws in as you like. We supply 5, I think. So because you've got these ribs going all the way around, you can pretty much fix wherever you like. We're going to be fixing through there into the ribs. So what you've got to do is you've got to get the blue dot lined up with the blue dot on the star. So you've got to make sure that and look, you'll probably find that the star isn't made perfectly symmetrically. It's made for that reason, so that when the blue dots line up, you'll find that the thing will fit perfectly. So once you've got that, I tend to start at one point, come in about 6 or 7 millimeters, drill down with a battery drill and a 3mm drill bit, drill into, come in about 6 or 7 millimeters. You'll know roughly where those ribs are. Grab your screw, Phillips head screwdriver, Now, we recommend that you hand screw these things because you can overstrip them with a battery drill. So it's probably preferable to use a hand screwdriver. So I tend to go on the opposite side. Again, you can go wherever you like. You can pre-mark them first if you like. I mean, I just tend to do them by eye, wherever it suits me. Grab another screw here. So. I'll just put 4 in for the sake of the tutorial, just to show you what I'm doing. You can put as many as you like I said. I mean, you can even seal it up completely. This is only made this way so that if you have a problem with the pixels at some later date, you can change them, or if you want to add some more, you can punch some more holes in there. Again, because the back isn't seen, you can put them wherever you like. It would look nicer if they were evenly spaced, I guess, but so I'll just put 4 in here for the sake of what we're doing here. Okay, so there's your star built. Very solid. You can hang it off a tree. You can hang it off. Well, you can hang it wherever you like, I suppose. You can, like I said, you could actually put some fixing rods in the back, and you could fix it into the ground if you like. It'll work quite well fixed into the ground. So that's basically the star pretty much built. I'll just take the back off for you, and just now with these kits, obviously we don't supply the pixels. The pixels we use are, well, it doesn't matter whether it's 12 or 5 volt, but it's a standard bullet style pixel LED that I'll just show you the pixels in a second. So we'll take this guy back off so that you can see what we're doing here. So, pretty much just standard pixels. I mean, if you're buying these kits, you probably know what you're doing with your pixels anyway. So, the process is very simple. Now, what we've done here is we've punched 10mm holes in this core flute. We find that 10mm holes, as opposed to the 12, the pixels won't go in all the way, but they are very solid in this 5mm core flute. So start, I guess, wherever you feel you want to start. If you can see that, I'm pushing my pixels in. Now, the reason we only punch 10mm holes in the core flute is that we prefer. Push that through for you again. So, well, what's happening there is, I don't know if you can see that, but only the actual LED is coming through, whereas if you punch a 12mm hole, so I'll just show you that if you can see it when we push it through. If you punch a 12mm hole, you'll get a lot more of the pixel coming through. Now, you may want that. That's up to you. You just push the pixels in a lot harder, but you'll get the feel of them once you've pushed them in. So I'll just go along and push all these in together so that you can see what we're doing here and what it looks like when it's finished. So now we've discovered that the pixels will stay in pretty well on their own into the core flute. The only issue is that over time you may find that the core flute will expand and contract. So what we've discovered is that once you've pushed all these pixels into their exit holes through the face, we like to add just a little bit of hot glue either side of the pixel. So there's your pixels. You can see the pixels now. You can see they're coming through the face there. Now some of these are a little bit crooked, so you can just straighten them up a little bit, however you like. So that you're happy with it. It's not critical, but you can see there we're only pushing the LED through the face. We find it looks a lot neater, and that's where all the light is coming from. That top bulb of the LED anyway. So once you can see there, all your cables are protected. None of them will get in the way of the back. And what we do is we just add a little bit of glue either side. Once you're happy with the positioning of them, so you just add a little bit of glue either side, and that will hold the pixel very firmly in position. You can see they're quite firm. They're not falling out, so they will stay in there. But just adding that little bit of extra glue will give that little bit extra strength to the overall shape and stability of the LEDs. Obviously, you'll do your wiring however you like. Now, we haven't punched a hole in the back of this. We've left that up to the person buying the Star as to what they want to do insofar as the cable exit. So once you know where. Once you're happy with the cables coming out, and this also gives you an ability to mount a little, controller or transformer in here if you really want to do that and you just want to control this individually. So you've got virtually like a case protecting everything you need here. Now, if you're going to seal this as a complete unit, you would probably run some silicon sealant along here if you didn't want to open this up again, if you thought moisture was going to be a problem. And if you thought it was going to be a huge problem, before you put the pixels in, you'd probably run some around the edge too. We don't do that here in Oz because we don't have a huge moisture problem here, but so we'll put that guy back in there like that. I'll just put two screws in there just to show you the finished product. So then there's your Star completed. You'll obviously these are just pushed in roughly. You'll have them nice and straight when you've got them. You'll have your cable running out. You can put your Star up on a wall or up on a roof or in the garden, wherever you like. So it'll work quite well. Now, again, just to refresh your memory, this manufacturing method will apply for the plain Star, which is lit up with modules. So it'll be the same shape. There's a version where there's a lot more pixels coming through the face, the same size Star, but with a lot more LEDs. We have some versions in the aluminium composite material. Now this stuff is really great. When the lights come through here, they look fantastic shining back on this material. They look really, really good. A little bit weightier, but the finish is fantastic. You get both the LED effect and the glow back effect, which works really well. This material comes in a few different colours. And then you've got the versions with the cutouts in the centre. So you've got the pixels coming through the face, and you've got a centrepiece which has a Perspex filter, and it's got modules illuminating this section. And what it does is it gives you alternating colours and gives you a different effect. You get the sides lighting up if you like, and that sort of thing. So all these Stars, because they're all the same shape, are all made exactly the same way, except for these ones here, which is in a separate tutorial. We'll treat that separately. So I hope that's helped you with your Star. And yes, you'll be able to find all the versions of this on our website. I hope that helps. Cheers.